No, I don't know if I can show him this watch. What watches are going away, buddy? The smartwatch is taking over. But just in case, this is a Citizen. Why do you have your hand on the fifth? Don't do that. Just show him the watch. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that, man. This is a Citizen Caliber 2100 gray dial. I believe it's the AV0050 series. This one has an H at the end of it, of the number, as in helium. I don't think they make these anymore. Sometimes you can find them on eBay, but I don't want to talk about that. Took my family to Manhattan Beach for a nice early lunch on Sunday. Manhattan Beach is a very nice place. Houses cost about $2 million, and it is the Rolex of neighborhoods. I live in the Seiko neighborhood in Torrance, and you know I'm a watch obsessive because I now take the geographical locations, the neighborhoods, and I've ranked them the way I tier watches. I need an intervention. So let's look at that one more time. Yes, thank you. So yeah, I took my family to Sepulveda and Rosecrans. The shopping area is called The Point. Has a lot of nice places to go to. Has a Pete's Coffee. I had a holiday latte. Lost man points for that. And I took my family to Mendocino Farms for some gourmet sandwiches, and those were all amazing. And you know what I noticed? I don't go to. It's funny. I live in Torrance. I don't hang out in the $2 million beach communities very often. I kind of feel a little out of place. I just want you to know, my father was a farm boy, a country boy, born on a farm in Michigan, and he was an infantryman and man in the army. And he kind of rubs off on me. I'm a little uncomfortable when things get a little too très chic, a little she. I'm in the Manhattan Beach area with my family, and I noticed there's weird places that I would never go to. There's a place by the restaurant I'm eating at called Soul Cycle, where you do your little spinning cycle workout while you do spiritual affirmations. That's not for me. I notice the people who live in these $2 million homes, very nice people, they wear a lot of organic cotton clothing. Even their little toddlers are wearing organic clothing that costs like $300 outfits. And their children, I'm listening to them call out their children's names. They have names like Marley, Leaf, Indigo, Ocean, Sky, Zappa. And, cute little area there with the Soul Cycles and everything. And I'm eating the sandwich there. And I noticed the men were wearing a lot of smartwatches. Not this, but the smartwatch. And probably would have to make a video about this someday. Smartwatches might take over the world, might take over the watch industry only because of this. When you're in the business of making gadgets, you have to make it, quote, necessary. You have to keep making it better. You have to make it become a life necessity for you to get traction, for you to scale. And they're not going to give up on the smartwatch until it becomes some kind of a health issue, like you can fax your vital specs to your doctor, or once they make the smartwatch the equivalent of better health, better fitness, and they have concrete studies that show that to be the case. Once they do that, it's going to scale, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'll just have to wear it on my right arm because I have a thing for watches. I don't know, but that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about watch addiction, and if you don't have watch addiction, go right now. Just leave, walk out. Don't even look at watch videos such as this one. Go, not because I'm mean, but because I'm saying that out of compassion and love. Just go. But if you have watch addiction, you may recognize this. I want to talk about the 11 things I've learned about watch addiction. Well, I can't stop looking at this. Oh, okay, don't do that. These are the 11 things I've learned about watch addiction over the years. Number one, you don't choose to be a watch addict. The addiction chooses you. I didn't know really anything about watches until 2005. I was 43 years old. It was the summer of 2005. My wife and I were at the Delamo Mall at some little watch shop. She was getting a quartz battery change in her watch. And I saw a Citizen Echozilla, and the image of it went into my brain, deep into the recesses of my brain. And I went home and I looked it up. I found it on Amazon and I bought it for $205. and I was never the same again. I mean, once the image got into my head, I was done. It's weird. I think every watch addict has a story of how he got addicted. Number two, the internet is like an unregulated growth hormone for watch addiction. 24/7, you can have dopamine injected into your brain, and you can associate watches with dopamine. And that adds so much to the addiction. Number three, you'll learn to find like-minded addicts in all these watch communities online, and they're going to increase your addiction. You'll see people put, I don't know what Seiko turtle to get, and they'll make a list of 5 Seiko turtles with photos, and then other members of the watch community will vote, well, I would get this one, I would get that one, and such and such says the movement on this one's even better, and you're just gonna go deep into that world with the watch community. That's why if you're not a watch addict, go out the door. Go make some guacamole, some homemade tortilla chips, have a porter, have a stout. Don't even go in these doors, man. It's a bad place. It's a bad place. Number 4, watch addiction's about loneliness. Not because you're a loser. No, you're a winner in society. You've accomplished a lot in your life. It's about loneliness, not because you're a loser, but because there's not a lot of people like you. And so you're always searching for like-minded souls. So there's a certain loneliness to watch addiction. And so when you find a fellow watch addict, it's like, it's quite something. The 5th thing I notice about addiction is there's no ultimate watch or ultimate watch collection that will cure you of your addiction. I know you wish there was, but there just isn't. You're always going to be diseased. Watch addiction is somewhat of a mental illness. Let's be honest with that here. Number 6, your watch addiction is, your watch collection is always going to be bigger than you want it to be. You're always wishing you could make it smaller, but you just can't. It's impossible to get it as small as you want. And one of the things you don't like about having your big collection is you have these beautiful watches that you love, and they cost like $700, $800, $1,200, $1,500, and you only wear them once a month. That's for whatever reason. You got to rotate them with the other watches. You're wearing a $800 watch 12 times a year. That's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. You've got some first world problems, son. Being a watch addict, yes, sir. And I think that's part of the problem. The other thing is you're going to have watches that you love. You don't wear them enough, and you don't feel connected to them. You're going to sell them, and then you're going to miss them, and you're going to rebuy them. That's number 7. Number 8, I think it's easy as a watch addict to take the hobby too seriously, making a choice between one watch or another as you're looking at them on the internet. I swear to God, I know watch addicts, they make this decision with the torment of someone who's trying to choose between 2 orthopedic surgeons, as if it were a life and death situation. I know it gets like that. You can take it too seriously. Number 8, I said you can take it too seriously. Number 9, as a watch addict, you're going to plan your week. What watches you're going to wear on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What clothes you're going to wear to complement them. And you're going to know which watch you're going to wear at a restaurant. For example, I wore the white version of this in Manhattan Beach. Loved it, felt it. And I still identify that day when I took my family out for lunch in Manhattan Beach with that white Citizen caliber 2100. As a watch addict, that happens. Number 10. As a watch addict, you'll find that it's rare that a watch addict walks away from the addiction. It does happen. I've seen it happen. It's rare, though. I mean, sometimes a watch addict goes through this life-changing event. There's been a death in the family. The person's going through a divorce. The person loses 95 pounds doing the South Beach diet. Some kind of huge life-changing event sometimes kicks the watch addict right out of watch addiction world, and the watch addiction is gone. And I've seen it happen. Usually it doesn't happen. A lot of us will probably die wearing a Seiko diver on our wrist, and we'll have our watch box in the coffin with us. And 2,000 years later, aliens will unearth these tombs, and they'll find a few guys with these watch boxes in their coffin, and of course there'll be cobwebs and tarantula fossils and silverfish fossils, and these aliens will go, wow, these human beings, they really were into time management, man. And they're going to probably, come to all these bizarre conclusions about the human race when they go into a watch addict's coffin. Hey, McMahon, this is the holiday season. Do not end this production on a morbid note. You're talking about death, and I don't like it. Okay, I apologize. Let's look at this. Let's talk about the 11th addiction quality, and let's connect this to something that's life affirming, just like they do when they're on the Soul Cycle thing over in Manhattan Beach, as they're working out with a dude named Zappa. I love Frank Zappa, by the way. Love the dude. But anyways, I don't want to talk about that. Number 11. Oh, man, okay, this is huge. Watch addiction takes a lot of time. Any addiction is time consuming, actually. And here's where I got this thought, and I want to end this on a life affirming note. I was listening to KPCC's Larry Mantle yesterday. He does a show on the radio called Air Talk. And I don't know if there's a Radio Hall of Fame, but if there is, he's in it. Larry Mantle's amazing. He's great. And he was talking about the legalization of marijuana in 2018. And he was asking adults, parents, what are you going to tell your kids about pot? What if you're a pot smoking adult and you want to have a conversation with your children? And it was fascinating. A 50-year-old called the show, and he said something that I found very poignant, if I could use that word. He said, Larry, here's what I want to say about pot, and this is what I would say about pot to children. I don't have children, but this is what I would tell children. He told Larry Mantle, I've been smoking pot since I was a teenager, and I've wasted an enormous amount of time smoking pot, hanging out with pot smokers, buying pot, selling pot, reading about pot. And if I could have taken all that time that I spent smoking pot and used it on something like writing a book, learning a musical instrument, learning another language, I would have had so much more in my life. And I just feel like I wasted so much. And I want to tell you that while I'm not going to equate watch addiction with smoking pot, I think a lot of us, myself included, we've just spent too many hours thinking about watches, dreaming about watches, looking at watches on the internet, looking at our watch collection. We could have done so much. And as a life-affirming conclusion to this video, I think we should take 2 days off a week. No watches. I mean, wear the watch. Love wear your watch, but don't go on eBay and look at watches. Don't go on Watch Recon. Don't go on any internet sites on those days. Don't go on my video. Don't look at my videos unless I'm talking about playing the piano or talking about some... of course, this is a philosophical discussion. Notice how I'm taking the watch subject and I'm doing a macro view of it. I'm connecting it to larger themes of the human condition. That's fine. You can go on this channel if I'm doing that. But the point is, I think you need to take more breaks, and you need to take control of your watch hobby, and don't let it control you, because it takes an enormous amount of time. And look at it in that context, and I think you could spend your time more wisely. That's what I'd like to do. Even when I make these watch videos, I like to look at it as an exposition, as a thematic exploration, so it's not just literally about watches, which honestly gets boring after a while. I like to connect it to larger themes. So, all right, that's the situation. 11 things I've learned about watch addiction. And until next time, I am out.